lover of Petty, who was taken out. But then I like the way that they also added some showed some love to the black community with Wu-Tang Clan being on the soundtrack, Gangstar being on the soundtrack, and then it closes out the show, the season with the new Run the Jewels. I thought that was dope. There was also Rakim. Ruth was in the house or in her trailer listening to Eric B and Rakim at the end of the season. Lastly, the Byrdes, and I get the whole thing. Why insert color into this? It's really not about inserting color into this. I'm just telling you that's real. That's just keeping it funky. If I'm gonna give you 10 hours of my time, of my weekend, of my 48-hour weekend, I prefer to watch something where I see people that look like me. That's just how I rock. The Byrdes are outsiders and self-serving. I'm kind of struggling with where I am with Marty. I mean, I think he's trying to do the right thing. I know he's trying to keep his family alive. I know, he didn't bring this on himself. But, when Sue gets taken out, the older couple, that lady loses her life. It's a lot of collateral damage around Marty. Ruth gets beat up badly by Frank Cosgrove Jr. Her dad was killed. But yeah, for Sue to get taken out, man, when she pulled up with the McLaren and she started talking differently, and kind of letting you know that she wasn't really just along for the ride. Like, she was aware of what was going on, and then once she heard all the tea get spilled during the session, you kind of knew it was about curtains for her. So again, man, I know I ran long. I thought the season was pretty good. I'd probably give it a 8.5 out of 10. I see on Red Tomatoes, on the tomato meter, said 95%. On the audience score, it said 96%. I would imagine that it stays in about the mid-90s. I don't really need to compare it to the first two seasons. I just think the show rolls along and continues to be one of the best programs out there. I really like a lot of the way the way things were set up. You knew that the drone, they didn't use it how I thought it was going to be used. I thought it was going to be some security around the house getting, some kind of home invasion or something at some point. So I thought, when Jonah was talking about going out and surveilling the area, I thought it was going to come into play that way. But you see that they used that. And that's, like I said, that's the skillfulness in the writing on this show, the storytelling. They put these things in place early in the show, and then it comes back, and that ends up saving their lives, and giving them an out for the season. The scene where Jonah runs down on Helen with the shotgun, that was a bit of an overplay in my opinion, but I guess we do know that Jonah was taught how to use a firearm with Buddy last year, and this is his second best friend. Being a young kid with no social outlets, the last couple of seasons, these relationships with these older men, really mean something to him. His dad is working all the time and hustling and doing everything that he's doing. So it's kind of understandable that he reacts in that manner. And then it was, it was what it was. And then lastly here, it was several times over the last two episodes where the one where Ben was being addressed as a vulnerability to everybody, when that was being addressed, and like I said, just killer acting by Laura Linney. And then in the finale, I'm hitting the button to see how much time was left in the episodes, because it seemed like it was a bunch of stuff to wrap up and it wasn't enough time to do it in. And then you see how they ended it with Helen coming down to Mexico, having the affidavit, or that Marty had what he confessed to but hadn't signed. And that's what she was going to use to have them, the Byrdes taken out. But they had already made up their mind on what they were going to do. And it leaves a good cliffhanger for season 4 in how how Navarro knew to make that move then. And then setting us up for whatever, is to take place in season 4. So that's kind of my breakdown of season 3 of Ozark. Hey, thanks for rocking with the show. Like I said, my name is Wood. If you like, I'm gonna put some timestamps out there on some of this, what I have managed to write down, so that people can go right to those parts of this discussion. But if you like any of it, man, please hit the like button, leave a comment. I'll try to respond to those that are sensible, And like I end all of this stuff, man, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.